Aloha everybody, Nathan Baird from the Journal and Courier here with another over and back video segment. My last one from Maui, and obviously a great way to go out if you're a Purdue fan. 87-85 victory over BYU. A.J. Hammons with the basket with 1.8 seconds left gives Purdue the win, gives them 2 victories in their last 3 games, and sends them home happy. And more than that, I think feeling like they really accomplished something the way they responded from such a bad first half and that eventual loss against Kansas State in the opening round. The thing that really stands out to me as we wrap this up is Purdue came into this tournament not knowing a lot of things about itself that were pretty important. Didn't know how the freshmen were going to respond. The freshmen had 43 of the 87 points today, obviously led by a big game from Vince Edwards, but obviously Isaac Haas was a somewhat inconsistent but important performer throughout this entire tournament. They didn't know what kind of toughness they had. Well, I thought that in the first half of the Kansas State game, that was still a big question. They did not come out and play very tough, but really over the last, whatever that would be, 105 minutes of play, they played much better. They played much tougher. And today was as tough a game as they've had to play, and they physically fought through it and made plays at the end that were big physical plays. Kendall Stevens coming up with a couple of big defensive plays, for instance, and that's not necessarily his forte, and those were game changers. We didn't necessarily know yet from a leadership standpoint. You know, Rafael Davis is one of those guys that says a lot of the right things, and that's important. But at some point, Purdue needed someone like him to step up and lead on the court, and he absolutely did that these last 2 days. He was the catalyst for both of these last 2 victories, and it was a lot of defensive intensity, and it was a lot of just picking the right spots, getting to the basket, getting fouled, shooting free throws. I think Purdue answered a lot of its questions this tournament. Now, what this is going to mean for them in the long term, it's an important win to beat BYU. It's another team that could be back in the NCAA tournament at the end of this year. But more than that, I think they just learned a lot about themselves. There's a sense of togetherness that's really building with this team, and we'll see how that pays dividends in the weeks and months ahead.